What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode in the series. Today we have episode number 24 of the career mode for you all to enjoy. And as per the vote left in the last episode, I asked you guys if you wanted to see Anthony Martial join us at the club next season on a pre-contract. And a lot of you guys said yes. So the first thing we did was we went ahead and we negotiated a new contract for him to join us ahead of the next year. Now, the thing is, obviously, I know a few of you people are going to be sat there thinking now the series is going to get way too easy, but I think they may have buffed the ultimate difficulty on the AI because I am not having the greatest of times against them recently. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just not playing the greatest, but they do feel like they've improved a little bit in the time that I have been playing this game. So, yeah, you're going to see another 3 games for you all to enjoy, plus a couple of simmed games. One of those is a very interesting one indeed. We have the first leg away in Germany to Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League. So hopefully, fingers crossed, all being well, we will see ourselves through to a next round of the Champions League, provided we can get the right result in the second leg. Because obviously the first leg, you'll see that today. The second leg will be the next episode. But hopefully we'll have it all done after the first leg. We don't know how it's going to fare, though. We'll have to wait and see. First up was a trip to Vicarage Road against Watford. I had to name a little bit of a weaker side for this one. There was days in between the games coming up in this episode. And I will say this, the first couple of games actually have no sound. I had footage corrupt on me going into the game, which wasn't ideal. So had to re-record it. But the problem with doing that is, in terms of that, I had the recording set and I had to then basically record it on my second screen. But I couldn't record the sound of the gameplay. So I apologise, but you're just going to have to deal with my nice, lovely voice for this one. Nevertheless, we were still looking to try and get the right result here. Another thing to mention as well, they haven't actually fixed the whole fixture congestion side of things, because I tell you what, we have got a game at the end of this month against West Brom, and then a day later, we play in the Carabao Cup final against Spurs. I'm not even joking, we have a Saturday game in the Premier League, and then a Sunday Cup final game. Outrageous. I'm sorry, that's a joke. So, for me, I don't know what I'm going to do in this situation now, because we've got to think about the other side of this. Spurs are closing us down in the league as well. We're now only 2 points ahead in the Premier League table. So, if we want to go all out, then surely we're going to have to win the game against West Brom. Problem with that is, if we play a strong team against them, there is absolutely no way we're going to have the players fit and ready for that cup final the day after. What do we do in this situation? I'll show you it later on, because you guys are going to find it hilarious just how bad our fixture congestion is. But it's a joke. Really, really is. Luckily, something that isn't a joke is that we were able to take the lead in this game against Watford. Ollie Watkins scoring his first Premier League goal of the season from the cross after Ben Foster came out trying to put him off. Wasn't able to do it. And then we went forward. Vinicius Jr., he puts a cross towards the back stick. And Andres Pereira went close with the header. Should have done a bit better with it, I felt. He should have actually got that on target. He had a bit more time than maybe he thought. And so it's a little bit of a weird one, that one. But the best chance, really, that Watford could conjure up came from Will Hughes' delivery in towards the box, where Gerard Deulofeu got a header on it on the edge of the area. Not enough, though, to take it forward, and he sent it over the crossbar. And with minutes to go, 9 to be in fact, we found Phil Foden. He laid it through to Vinicius Jr. Jr. back into Ollie Watkins, looking for the second of the game, but he hit it straight at Ben Foster, and it was an easy save for the Englishman to make. And that ended off the first game of the episode. A away trip to Vicarage Road can be a difficult place to come, this, but we got away with a 1-0 victory, courtesy of that Ollie Watkins goal earlier on. Like I said, we were dominant, we created the better chances. If we lost that one, I'd have felt pretty harsh. You know, they only have really one chance, and that one was a poor one from Gerard Deulofeu. So, players shaking hands. Obviously, Lewis Dunk captaining the side today, happy with the decision. And even that situation there, him and Kerr at the back, I'm still not set in stone. I'm still in the market looking for a centre-back. So, we have £40 million right now. Obviously, the transfer window is finished, so it's going to have to wait until summer for us to make anything happen, unless we pick up one on a pre-contract that joins us next season. But I am still in the market for another centre-back to try and improve on the 2 we already have. Kera and Dunk. As you guys know, I'm going to get rid of Ret Sauce. He hasn't cut it here for me, so I'm afraid he will be probably used as part of another deal in the future. Interestingly enough, this is a problem. I mentioned Spurs were catching us. Well, going into this game here against Chelsea, they were a single point behind us. 1. It's all turned around all of a sudden. And this is not an easy game. We had Stamford Bridge now, straight after an away trip to Vicarage Road. And things didn't start off good at all. Cross whipped in by Eden Hazard. We clear our lines, but then you can see Balotelli heads it straight to Jorginho. Lays it back to Hugo Mayo. Back into Jorginho. Willian picks it up. He's going to fake shit it around me. I just couldn't get near them. Rodrigo towards Hazard. One touch. Bang. Bottom corner. It's Eden Hazard at the end of the day. You're expecting something quite as good as that, because that really was top notch from Eden Hazard. I mean, there's not a lot I can say or do other than to just applaud it, because, like I said, he's just one of those. He's just a special kind of player, isn't he? Like, you know, you see players sometimes and there's one that can just make something of nothing. That's him. Like, that is just brilliant. One touch, sells me, finishes in bottom corner. And I got to say as well, Frankie Brown isn't the easiest goalkeeper in the world to beat. So that's more credit to the strike from Eden Hazard. So 1-0 down in the game at Stamford Bridge, trying to fight our way back into it. So no, not really used to being in this position, but at least we weren't behind for long, because Super Mario would get us back into the game at 1 apiece. Laid the ball on from Phil Foden. He finished it off like he does, Mario. And there it is then into the back of the net. 1 apiece here just before the halftime whistle. And the game is well and truly on here. Felt like this was going to be one of the more tougher tests we're going to face in this Premier League season. Chelsea are not doing great, but they're not a bad side still. They've got some really good players. And although Spurs are the one that's currently challenging us as Mario Balotelli gets into double figures for the season in the Premier League, I do believe Chelsea will be in the top 4 come the end of the season. So they are a team we've got to watch out for. Now, I felt like here we possibly should have scored. Brahimi sends Balotelli in. It was my mistake to go with a fake finesse shot with the right foot. I should have hit it left across the goalkeeper. But then take a look at this defending. Corners get whips in. Like, it comes straight back out to Rabiot. Look at the time and space he's got to pick his marker. Chelsea defend it really, really well. Felt a little bit like we needed to do better with that one. Rodrigo, though, testing the palms later on in the game of Frankie Brown. And he was equal to it, one-handed, pushing that out for a corner ball to Chelsea, of which nothing would come but another sensational save from our big man in between the sticks. And as the game came to a close, I will quite happily take that point at Stamford Bridge. 1 apiece. You've just got to sometimes say, it is what it is. It's a fair game, fair result. Both teams gave it as good as they were going to give. Hazard's opener cancelled out by Mario Balotelli. And at least we come away with the point here. So not a defeat. But of course, Spurs with that 1 point behind us before kickoff. We didn't know whether or not we were still going to be top or not. We didn't know how exactly things were going to pan out. So we just had to say, at least it's not the defeat. Hazard comes off feeling a little bit hard done by, because obviously he gave his side a lead early on. But, you know, like I said, fair result. You can see match facts. It was very, very even. After that, we had an FA Cup 5th round tie. Cup side played in it against Preston. We should go on, get ourselves through to the next round of this one in the FA Cup, but we do have the Carabao Cup to think about as well. Got to be honest, I was sat here thinking to myself, I saw the fixture congestion, and I was genuinely sat here thinking, if we go out, I'm not going to really worry about it, because I could do with a bit less games, to be honest. And then Robinson scored for Preston. So although originally I was looking at this thinking, how on earth have we lost it? I'm somewhat glad that we did, as Mario Balotelli missed the penalty with 4 minutes to go. Because now we haven't got to worry about any other FA Cup games. So yes, we have a bit of fixture congestion coming up, but once we get past this, it should sort itself out. Later stages of the Champions League might make it a bit difficult again afterwards, but we will see what happens. From here, though, we do have sound for this last game, because this one did not corrupt, thankfully, against Borussia Dortmund. First leg of the Champions League away at the Signal Iduna Park. And you guys know what I always value when it comes to Champions League and Europa League fixtures. I always talk about those away goals, and it just so happens we're going to be discussing them again right here. That is what we're interested in. We don't want to see any away goals for our opponents in that second leg. So we have to do the business here at the Signal Iduna Park in this first one. Get ourselves 2, 3, maybe even 4 away goals if we can. And then it will be done enough for us to go into the second leg. But of course, going into kickoff, just take a look at this. Like, look at this stadium. Dressed in yellow. It is not a nice place to play. You can see there is clearly a favourite here. And that is the home side of Borussia Dortmund, who have an incredible team, may I add. They've got some quality players, not only in the first 11, but on the bench as well. That's their first 11, right? And then on the bench, Arnautovic, Alexander Isaac, Sabitzer, Trent Alexander-Arnold. I mean, those are players that I would gladly take at this Brighton team. And they're on the bench for Dortmund. So if that says anything about their side, this is going to be a very, very tough game indeed. But we were going to give it as best as we could. And inside 2 minutes, we had the first chance of the game. Brahimi picking the pocket of Meunier. And he has a curling effort, which went narrowly wide at the bottom corner on the way through. Thought he'd opened up the scoring inside the first few minutes, which would have been the dream start here in Germany if that had have gone in. But it wasn't the case, and it ended up going wide at that bottom corner. But nevertheless, the early signs were positive. Now, Dortmund themselves would create the next opportunity. Marco Reus, ball rolls, delivers it back stick. Jesse Lingard's header, Frankie Brown's palms away. And that was still 0-0 as Rabiot was yellow carded for a challenge earlier on in that move. But it showed you the danger that Dortmund did possess. As Marco Reus with a corner, put it in. It originally was punched out by Frankie Brown, comes to Sebastian Röder. He plays it to Meunier. Meunier is going to get the shot away. It comes again, and Frank Brown sees it through bodies, but makes a save instead. So some quality goalkeeping from our American in between the sticks. And the score remained 0-0 until Phil Foden fed Vinicius Jr. He went down the right, put the cross in, and Super Mario saw his header saved by the goalkeeper. So an eventful first half, but nothing to show for it until the 36th minute when Balotelli, sent through by Brahimi, gets it on the right foot, tries to curl it goalwards. Again, it was saved by the keeper. Good save from Berkey in all honesty, but again, finish from Mario. Could he have done a little bit better with it? Maybe I've got to stop using that finesse shot. I don't know, but all I will say is, from this corner, this was absolute quality. Foden's delivery, Mario rises, bang! Dortmund 0, Brighton 1 at the Signal Iduna Park, and 38 minutes gone, we had the away goal that we were craving, and it came from Mario's head. Honestly, guys, this was such an important goal. In the game itself, we were playing well, but we were getting frustrated because the keeper was saving chances. We were basically messing ourselves over, effectively, with the chances we were having. We should have been 2-3-0 up already if it wasn't for the goalkeeper and a mixture of the goalkeeper and myself just not finishing. And I felt like Dortmund, one chance is all it took for them to actually get an opportunity to maybe send this one the wrong way. So we had to get a goal, and I was so glad to see Mario get it, because for confidence, that gives me a whole bunch of it. And just before the break, we move into the second half. Junior's delivery, we should have actually made it too. Arthur's long shot wide at that post. Inches, may I add. If he'd have done it slightly more over, we might have been heading into the break 2-0 in front and cruising to the next round of the Champions League. But at the break, it remained Brighton 1, Borussia Dortmund 0, courtesy of that Balotelli header. So it was all to do in the second half, where Phil Foden picked up the ball, already assisting the first of the one, may I add, towards Vinicius Jr., tried to find the cutback. It comes back to Phil. He's going to have an effort outside of the post and out for a goal kick. He deserved a goal, did Phil Foden, in all honesty. Played an absolute blinder here at the Signal Iduna Park, but unfortunately, it just didn't seem to want to go in the back of the net for him. Already got the assist, could have capped up the performance with the goal there. I believe he was then substituted as we moved the play on. In fact, no, he actually continued. He was substituted later on, though. Don't worry about that one. As Arthur cuts inside, finds Foden. Foden's delivery over towards Vinicius Jr. for a second assist in the game as he fires it into the back of the net. And that made it Brighton 2, Dortmund 0. That, in my opinion, should be enough to send us through to the next round of the Champions League. I'm saying this now. I've got confidence in myself that we'll be able to defend back at the Amex when it comes to the second leg. Obviously, that might not happen, but I do believe there's probably 70% chance now that we're through to that next round of the Champions League. So, 2-0 win away in Germany. Phil Foden with both assists, Vinicius Jr. and Balotelli with the goals. Unbelievable performance from the little man there in that one. And that's going to be the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed it, a like would be greatly appreciated. I have some stuff to sort out to do with my outside things in football right now, because I'm getting messed around a little bit by certain things, but I need to go and sort that out, so we'll see what's going to happen. But without further ado, guys, that's it from me for today. If you did enjoy the episode, a like would be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you so much for all of your support on the channel. Really appreciate it. Until next time, guys, if you are new around here and like what you see, the subscribe button is down below. You can click that, follow me on the channel. And alongside that should be the notification bell, so if you want to be notified whenever a new video goes live, you can also click that. Hopefully you're enjoying your weekend. I'll see you all again for another episode in the My Player Career Mode tomorrow at 4 p.m. And I might even upload another episode of Career Mode as well if I'm feeling kind to you guys, if I get enough time. But that's it. Catch you again soon. Adios.